What's up guys, today we're doing another Forza Motorsport 8 video. Today we're doing a car wish list. This was highly recommended and a lot of you guys wanted it, so we're doing it. Just a side note, none of these cars appeared in Forza Motorsport 7, so that's why there are no cars on this list in Forza Motorsport 7 to my knowledge. So anyways, our first car, the BMW M6 GT3. This is a GT3 BMW based off of the M6, as you can tell from the name. It's powered by a 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo engine, and the exterior is 100% carbon fiber. This would be a great car to add to the GT3 class since they want race cars in Forza. Next up, we have the Corvette C8 and C8r. The C8r is the race version of the Corvette C8, and this thing just looks epic. Like, look at this picture. Yeah, take that in. Both of these cars are powered by a 6.2 liter LT2 V8 engine, and the power of that engine is put down through an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. The C8R was the first completely reworked race Corvette since the C6R, and it is fast. Next up, we have the Saleen S7r. The Saleen S7r is a GT1 version of the Saleen S7. It has a naturally aspirated Ford Windsor 7-liter V8. And I said Ford Windsor, not the Ford Windstar. It's not the minivan, the Ford minivan. That thing was absolutely terrible in my opinion. But the Ford Windsor was a pushrod V8 developed by Ford for racing and heavy-duty trucks. And the Saleen S7r was an absolute beast. It beat Ferraris on Ferrari's home track. That's how good this thing was. And it hasn't even been in a Forza game, to my knowledge. A go-kart. It doesn't matter what kind of go-kart, but we need a go-kart. This next game is going to be focused around racing, right? And where do most racers get their starts? Go-karts. Makes sense, right? Gran Turismo has a go-kart. Forza should have a go-kart. Just do me a favor and ignore that this car is made of Legos, because it's the Bugatti Chiron 300 Plus. I already know what you guys are going to say. We already have the Bugatti Chiron in Forza Motorsport 7. Yeah, but do you have the 300 Plus? No, and the 300 Plus is better in most ways. It's faster, which is the main way. But other than that, it's about all the same. They just got 100 more horsepower out of the engine or something like that. But the engine is a 8-liter W16 with 1,600 horsepower. Not to mention, the Bugatti, I can't pronounce Bugatti, I'm just really bad at this. The Bugatti Chiron 300 Plus was the first street-legal production car to go over 300 miles per hour. Pretty impressive. Next up, we have the Koenigsegg Jesco and the Koenigsegg Jesco Absolut. So these are both the same model, it's just that one is made more for the track and the other one is more for top speed. The Absolut is made more for top speed. They are both powered by a 5-liter twin-turbo V8 producing 1,600 horsepower on ethanol 85. The power of that engine is transmitted to the wheels through a 9-speed transmission. The Jesko Absolut claims to have a top speed of over 300 miles per hour and over 500 kilometers an hour. Nobody's broke the 500 kilometer an hour record yet for a street legal car, but the Bugatti Chiron has broken the 300 mile per hour record. So Koenigsegg could be the first to break the 500 kilometer per hour record, which is more important in European and Asian and other countries besides the US. Next, the 2020 Tesla Roadster. We don't really know much about this car that's actually real, but what's confirmed, or what they say is confirmed, Elon Musk said himself that the Tesla Roadster could go 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, which, if I'm not mistaken, would be a world record for the fastest 0 to 60 time in any production car. He also claimed, like a long time ago, that it would be the world's fastest production car, but he said that before the Bugatti Chiron made its 300 mile per hour run and the Koenigsegg Jesco came out. Next, the 2006 Chevrolet SSR. Why the 2006 version? Because it had a LS2 Corvette engine V8 that produced 400 horsepower. This was such a great truck, or whatever you want to call it. Like, people say it was ugly, but personally I don't. This is what it looks like. I think it looks beautiful. I used to drive this thing around on my old Xbox, playing Midtown Madness. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that game, but it was an arcade racing game, and I thought it was fun. And that truck was one of my #1 go-tos. It should be in a Forza game. And it's not even in Horizon series, and it's a truck, or a ute, or whatever you want to call it. Next up, we got the 2020 Ford Shelby GT500. It has a 5.2 liter V8, which makes 760 horsepower, and 625 pound-feet of torque. Not to mention, this thing looks absolutely crazy. Like, look at this picture. Absolutely beautiful, right? If I was to buy a Mustang, and I had all the money in the world, I would buy this one. It's crazy. And I know this isn't the newest Shelby that I'm showing you right here, but I'm doing this to advertise my design, because why not, you know? But please note, you can only download these designs in Forza Horizon 4. So most of the designs that you see in this video, you can download. The ones that obviously aren't stock designs. So just type in my gamer tag, it's up there on the screen right now, and you can download any of these designs for free. Like, it helps me support me, and it's free. Why not? Next, we got the Ferrari 488 Pista. This thing has a 3.9 liter V8 that produces 711 horsepower. And it just looks super cool. Like, it's my favorite Ferrari. The second one is the California T, if you're wondering. I think I said that in an earlier video, so just clarifying that this is my new favorite. Ever since it came out and I drove this thing, it's my favorite Ferrari. It just looks beautiful. Next, we got the 2020 Mercedes-Benz AMG GT Formula 1 pace car. We have the 2017 AMG GTR, but it doesn't have any pace car lights or anything, which would be nice. We already have the C7 Corvette pace car with the lights and everything in Forza Motorsport 7, but we don't have the official Formula 1 pace car. You know, pretty important. And it would be nice to have a different choice of pace car besides a Corvette. This thing is powered by a 4-liter twin or bi-turbo, your choice, they're the same thing, V8. It produces 577 horsepower, which is then put through a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. And all they need to do for this to make it a Formula 1 pace car is make it the newest version, and put some yellow flashing lights on top, and then people can create their own specs, right? So, pretty simple. Then you got a Formula 1 pace car, or a pace car for anything that you choose. I think we should have this. Next, we got the 2020 Toyota Supra and the 2020 Toyota Supra Gazoo GT4. First, I'm going to talk about the 2020 Toyota Supra. As you guys know, 2020 Toyota Supra has never been in a Forza game, and hopefully, most likely, it will be in this next one, Forza Motorsport 8. You guys pretty much all know why it will be there, because it's everyone's favorite car, but I'm still going to give you some specs about the Toyota 2020 Supra to try to convince you. No, not convince. Try to back you up why the 2020 Toyota Supra should be in Forza Motorsport 8. It's got a 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine making 335 horsepower. What's not to love about that? It was developed by BMW and Toyota barely touched it, but doesn't matter because it's basically a Z4. And the Gazoo GT4 race car, a bit better. We should definitely have this one in there. I talked about it in an earlier video. It's got the same engine as the other one, but it was tuned to make 430 horsepower. And it puts that power down through a 7-speed dual clutch. I think it's dual clutch. No, automatic transmission. It might be a dual clutch. I don't remember. It's either automatic or dual clutch. But it's basically a BMW Z4 race car and regular car. We have the second electric car in this whole list, the Volkswagen IDR Pikes Peak Hill Climb. This thing is, how do you describe it? Crazy, maybe? I don't know. It's probably one of the most insane cars Volkswagen has ever produced. I mean, just look at it. It weighs 2,400 pounds, which is just over a ton, and that's with a driver. It has 671 horsepower, powered by 2 electric motors. It has all-wheel drive and double wishbone suspension. This thing set the record for Pikes Peak Hill Climb. And look at this wing. Absolutely huge. And this thing isn't even in a Forza game. Besides this one, of course. That's crazy. And oh my gosh, just look at it. Here we got the 67 Corvette Stingray, but what we don't have in the games is the 67 Grand Sport Corvette. It was known as the secret Corvette because it wasn't supposed to be developed, and it was doomed for the crushers. It was hidden behind GM executives' backs, developed by Zora, the grandfather of the Corvette. And this thing was a beast. It would fit in perfectly with IMSA and SCCA racing of the early 60s against stuff like the Shelby Cobra and the Mustang, the Cobra Mustang or whatever the thing is called. I forgot what it was called back then. But the 67 Grand Sport would be a great addition to the game. And also, if you want to download this design, also based off of a Hot Wheels car, like that other Mustang, my creator name is on the screen right now. This car just came out in Forza Horizon 4. That's right, it's the Lexus LFA. It is just a beautiful car. It's powered by a 4.8 liter V10, and it just makes the most beautiful sound. Like, I'm just gonna be quiet so you can just listen to this. That's just wonderful. It's one of the best sounding cars. You thought we would go through this whole list without me listing a Porsche? You were wrong. The 918 SRS. It technically was never produced, but it was a concept car, and Forza has put in many concept cars before they were actually produced. But the SRS basically was a 2013 version of the 918 Spider. It was a coupe, and it had the regular 4.6 liter V8, but it was buffed up. Instead of the 2 hybrid engines, it had a KERS, which is a kinetic energy recovery system. So basically, when this thing braked, it stored up that leftover that used kinetic energy and used it for acceleration. So this thing was even faster than the regular 918 Spider. At its peak, it made 756 horsepower. And this is kind of an unrelated fact because the SRS didn't the SRS didn't actually set this record, but the regular 918 broke the 7-minute barrier on the Nürburgring. They were the first street legal car to break the 7-minute barrier. So, way to go for them. But the 918 SRS, it's a beautiful car. Here's a picture of it. It would be a great addition to the game. And that's all for this video. I hope you liked it. If you have any other ideas for any Forza related videos or anything else such, contact me down in the comments below. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe. Bye.